Okay, so question 8. Now you're given a choice of doing either A or B. I'm going to show you both so that you have a choice. Okay? This you're getting into your geometry and into your constructions. This is where you need your math set. They give you a line. So on the slide slant. And they mark A here and B here. And they say, without using a protractor or set square, that means you have to use a compass, construct an angle of 60 degrees below. Now what they're testing here is, do you know that if you draw an equilateral triangle, that in that triangle the three angles are all 60 degrees? Because the triangle adds up to 180, and equilateral means equal, okay, equilateral, all the sides are equal, and if all the sides are equal, all the angles are equal, and if all the angles are equal, they have to be 60, 60, 60, because 60 plus 60 plus 60 equals 180. So what you do is you get your compass. With your compass, you put the pointy part on A, you put the pencil on B, and you draw an arc. Okay, that's the first thing you do. Then you do the same thing but in reverse. Put the pointy part on B, put your pencil on A, and draw an arc. Where they meet, that's the top of the triangle. You can call that C if you want. Then you simply connect A to C, connect C to B, and the angle CAB, that's the angle CAB, or the angle ACB. You always put the letter that's there in the middle, or the angle CBA. Each of those are 60 degrees. Okay? Describe here the steps in the construction. Look just what I've said. I put the point of my compass on A. I put the pencil on C. I drew an arc. Then I put the point of my compass on B. I put the pencil on A, and I drew an arc. Where the two arcs met, I drew a point. I called it C. I connected A to C. I connected C to B. The result is an equilateral triangle, and all the angles are 60 degrees. That's all you do for that bit. Okay? That's question 8A. Question 8B is a little bit more, I think the A part is nicer than construction. The B is the geometry bit with the theorem. It's still easy and they take you through it step by step, but I find that one easier. Alright, now they give you again a triangle ABC. A, that's B, that's C. Right? And they say in the triangle A, B, and C, the angle ABC, B is the letter in the middle, so it means this angle here is 80 degrees. And the angle ACB, C is in the middle, so that means this angle here, is 40 degrees. Construct the bisector of BAC, that means this one, because A is the letter in the middle, without using a protractor. So here your compass comes into play again. Now I've given you out sheets on how to construct a bisector of an angle. And if you're in ordinary level, you should have gotten sheets on it as well. If you haven't got the sheet that explains step by step how to do all these constructions, do not leave here today without that sheet. Okay? To construct the bisector of A, you get your compass. You put the point on A, you open it out to any area in between A and B, and you do an arc all the way across that cuts the triangle on the two lines. Then, keeping the same distance, put your point on each of the cuts you've just made and make another arc, and where they cross, you simply connect that to A, and that's your bisector. Okay? That means cutting it in half. And that's how you bisect an angle. The bisector that you drew in B meets BC at D. Mark and label that point. So the next thing they want you to do is they want you just to draw this down and mark and call that D. Alright? Now, I'm going to talk you through the rest of this. I'm not actually going to measure it out on the board. I'll make up numbers. Okay. The next thing they do is they say, by measuring as accurately as you can, verify that BD equals AC minus AB. Okay, and they give you this in step by step. So the first thing you do is you measure B to D. Okay, so let's say we measure that and it comes out as 5 centimeters. It doesn't. I know that's not the right. It's something like 3.7 or something. Now, as I said, these figures are not right for the triangle that you have in your thing. I'm making them up because I know how it needs to work out. But you can measure them at home and figure it out for yourself. But when you're measuring them and when you're doing this in your exam, you need to be as accurate as you can. And I'm talking, I know when we did this before, that's something like 3.7, you know, it's points, so be really careful. Let's say you measure A and C. Okay, then it tells you the next thing to measure is AC. So you measure AC and it works out as 15 centimeters. Then the next thing to measure is AB, and AB works out at 10 centimeters. Right? So they want you to verify that BD, which is 5, BD is equal to AC, which we now know is 15, minus AB, which is 10, and yes, 5 is equal, so you work that out. 5 equals 15 take away 10 is 5, so it's right. Okay? If you're doing that in your exam and you measure them, and your numbers do not work out that that equals that minus that, change it so that they do. It means you haven't been accurate enough in your measuring, so make sure it works out to that. Alright? Do you think that the result you verified for C is true for every triangle and justify your answer? The answer is no. If you did an equilateral triangle, okay, where that was 10, that was 10, and that was 10, then your bisector would cut that directly in half. That would be 5, which is not equal to 10 minus 10. 10 minus 10 is not, and they're not equal. So it does not work for an equilateral triangle. As long as there's one triangle that you know it doesn't work for, then it's not possible for every triangle. And I'd say that in my justification. I'd say no, this does not work for an equilateral triangle, so therefore it doesn't work for every triangle. What they're testing you on here is there's a theory. Okay? Look at the angles here at the base. See the way that's half that angle. That's 80 and that's 40. Okay? In a triangle where the angles at the base are in the ratio 1 is to 2, then the bisector of A will always cut the baseline in the ratio that minus that. Okay? If that was 60 and that was 30, this would work. If that was 120 and that was 60, that would work. But it only works in a triangle where the angles at the base, one of them is half the other one. Okay, so they don't actually ask you to give the theory, and they take it through you really nicely, step by step, so that you end up proving the theory at the end. But You don't, it won't work for every triangle, it only works in this particular case where the angles at the base of the triangle are in the ratio 1:2. Okay, so that's question 8b. What's nice about that is the fact that they take you through it in so many small steps. They could have started that question by saying, prove that blah, and you'd have to do all the steps yourself. But they just bring you through the steps. And they will do that in your exam. They'll bring you through it step by step.